So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology. And the S26 Ultra has been announced, and in this episode we're going to talk about should you upgrade. If you have a S25 Ultra, you're owner of this phone right here. I actually am upgrading, but I did not trade this phone in because I want to still do some comparisons, but also I still think this one is not really needed to be traded in yet. So let's go ahead and talk about if you should go ahead and upgrade this as an owner of the S25 Ultra. So what actually changed on the S25 to the S26 Ultra? Well, you're not going to have the privacy display on board here that you would typically find on that newer phone. Also, the new circle to search feature and those upgraded AI features that are specific to that phone aren't specifically on this device. So kind of like if you want that privacy display, the AI stuff, I mean, should you upgrade? Then that's really going to be up to you. But honestly, it's probably worth it if you're a heavy AI user. The actual hardware differences are almost nothing on these devices besides the back of the phone right here. You also don't have titanium no more. So if you love your titanium build, also the edges of the device are not quite as rounded as the S26 Ultra on this S25 Ultra. In addition to that, you do have a couple different colors, but the overall design, not worth it whatsoever if you're just looking for the upgraded look, because the look is not substantially different, but you are getting a massive trade-in value. So if you just want the newer processor and stuff, that totally makes sense as well. And moving on to talk about the cameras. So if you do have this phone and you're looking for a camera upgrade, one of the deals with the cameras here is that they changed some of the apertures. The actual cameras themselves don't really have majorly different megapixel counts, and that's where a lot of people are going to say, well, it's kind of the same thing once again. And the truth of the matter is it's not really exactly the same. It is just, they do change the aperture, so the lighting is going to look a little bit different in different scenarios, and that could play into if you care about that quite a bit in terms of the actual like lighting and dark night photos and stuff like that. So they also use more AI stuff to enhance images on the new phone. So you are going to technically have better image quality overall in different scenarios. But the real deal is, do you want to have more light in your photography? That's going to be the real deal here with the S26 Ultra upgrade. I think if that matters to you, totally worth it. One of the things that didn't change too much was the battery size of this phone. It's actually the same 5,000 milliamp hour, but they did change the processor, and the One UI 8.5 is more efficient. So I do think you're going to see better battery, but if you're looking for a phone with substantially better battery life, I do think that this is probably not a worth it upgrade here from the S25 Ultra. But if you are looking for a bit better, this is definitely worth it. But again, this is not like a 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 milliamp hour battery. And so therefore, the Galaxy S25 Ultra owners are probably just fine right now when it comes to that. The charging improvements are pretty decent though. They go up to 60 watts, which I've been asking from Samsung for a while to give us 60 watts on these devices. I think that would give us nicer charging, and they're finally offering that. So if you do want faster charging speeds, this is going to be a really big deal for you. Now, when it comes to the software, the 8.5 is going to be available for the Galaxy S26 Ultra, and so therefore, even for the S25 Ultra. So therefore, you don't really have to upgrade just for software, and you are going to have several more years of updates on this device. So I do think this S25 Ultra still is even a good pickup right now because you're getting the latest software, you're going to get some of the nicest new features, and it's all going to be available for you as well. So when it comes to that, I just don't think that's a real big deal. That's kind of not just a Samsung thing though. That's every phone maker thing. They're all offering a long-term update. So anybody could buy a flagship from a previous phone year on any phone, and they're still going to be able to get the software. So when we're talking about owners upgrading, you still have like 5-6 years of updates left on the S25 Ultra, right? So you got to weigh that into effect if that matters to you. Also, they didn't mention really anything about the S Pen getting upgraded substantially or anything, and that's something that people thought they might have brought back, but I don't think it's any different. So we aren't going to see anything massively updated here. So if you were looking for your Bluetooth S Pen features to make their way back, we didn't see it. So I think that's disappointing to some hardcore Samsung users, but I don't think it's going to affect sales substantially, as the S25 Ultra did pretty well in this area anyway. Now, when it comes to trade-in values though, if you do go shop the Samsung pre-order page, you are going to find yourself some substantial trade-in value, specifically on the S25 and S24 Ultra. So if we go ahead and we hit 256 gigs, whatever, you click, let's say an exclusive color, whatever, you'll see right here that offering up to 800 on that S24 Ultra, and the Z Fold 6 users even get 900 and S25 Ultra 900. Now, I think we've seen like 1,000 on some of the previous models, but this is definitely still a massive discount and bringing these phones down to a definitely more reasonable price tag. Also, they still have the same punch hole up there on the new phone. Bezels are pretty similar. And so overall, the year-over-year upgrade, not substantially upgraded, I think, for S25 Ultra users, but it's still a really good one for people who always want to be on the bleeding edge. The reason why is because Samsung gives you such a large trade-in deal on the S25 Ultra that you're not paying anywhere near its retail price if you trade this in. Also, it's an instant discount, just got to send it in, and you won't ever have to pay more than what you paid up front. Usually with an S25 Ultra trade-in, you're probably going to pay somewhere in the neck of like 400 to 550. So that's substantially less than what a typical retail price of the flagship would be. But who should upgrade immediately if you have an S25 Ultra? It's probably only people that broke their phone, honestly. But then you're going to get a lower trade-in value. Or for those people who really are power users that take advantage of literally everything on their phone. Their phone runs their life and they always need to be on the bleeding edge. And I don't know who really has that need. I think at this point we're at a smartphone market maturity where it's kind of like a luxury. It's a want. I just upgrade because I want to upgrade. I like innovations and everything like that. And the privacy display is definitely an innovation. So final verdict, should you skip or switch to the S25 or S26 Ultra from your S25 Ultra? And for most owners, I think it's a skip. Honestly, I think it's a switch. If you like to upgrade yearly though, if you're into the latest and greatest, definitely a switch for those users. That's kind of like what I do because I'm like into tech like that. But I think for most users, you probably will get bigger substantial upgrades on the next version of the Ultra line, as this is a really big upgrade for S23 Ultra users, I think S22 Ultra, but S24 Ultra users being even maybe a skip as well. But we'll go ahead and do the S24 Ultra comparison, S25 Ultra comparison directly when the phone arrives. So stay tuned. If you're wondering where's the phone, I reached out, didn't get any response. Not going to be covering the Samsung version of it. We're going to cover the pre-order, the one I ordered. So I'll be back with another video soon. Thank you very much for watching. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Nick here. Be sure to be well.